Hello, we are the Geeks and the Giants, and today we're going back to Star Wars. Yay!
No, I'm kidding.
But yeah,
If it ain't gunslingers or espionage, I'm not into it.
yeah. Well, you know what side of Star Wars John likes then. But yeah, we're going back to the prequels because we did the originals in May, and now since we're counting down today, still I guess Mando comes up. We're gonna continue the rest of the saga.
Yes.
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 And of course, we'll be touching about the
Can't
sequel
wait
soon.
for Mando.
Same here.
Yeah.
Mando season 2.5 was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this question might hit differently for you guys. I know it does for me, but like, what was your first experience with this movie?
Yeah.
The first experience
like-
with the Phantom Menace?
Did you see it in theaters?
It was,
I don't,
yeah, it was in theaters.
yeah,
Yeah, 1999.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I was still a baby. I was still too young to even comprehend what the fuck was happening in the Phantom Menace.
I was
But
4.
Yeah, I was. When it came out, I was 1.
Oh god.
Yes. Yes, I am the youngest here. Like I remember my brother and sister watching it like as a DVD or sorry, VHS, and that's where I first watched. I was like, wow, those guys with their beards are so cool. That guy with the red face is fucking cool. He has 2 lightsabers. Has that ever happened? I'm not sure. Because this is my first Star Wars. This is what I got into, and then I was like, and I think I watched the
That's
third one
right.
right after.
That's right. This is the first one that you saw. I forgot about that.
Yep, yeah. Me still baby around this group. But yeah, I was still too young to even comprehend what the fuck was happening. Until in my teen years, that's when I fully watched the trilogy. Me and Enzo, when we were classmates, we were talking about the Revenge of the Sith like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you,
But yeah.
Hazel? What was your first time? What was your experience?
Oh, we're
watching it?
still on that. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I thought we switched, and I missed it. I was amazed because like even though let me see in '99, I'm gonna give away my age here. I don't give a shit. I was 13 when I saw this movie. And I had already seen, the first 3, the original 3, and I was so excited that like they were making, another Star Wars movie because, obviously I knew that they were made way back when. I thought they were done making them, and when the announcement came out, and then there was the posters and the TV spot commercials and stuff. Like I just got so hyped for this. Like even at 13, just because I loved Star Wars so much, and I can't remember how many times I saw it, but I know I definitely saw it more than once in theaters. And I bought the DVD, and I think I actually bought the VHS as well. It was a really really good time in like Star Wars fandom because it was 16 years since the last one came out, and people didn't expect there to be more, and it was what ignited like today's Star Wars fandom because there were people who always loved Star Wars, the originals. There were always people who loved them, but like they're continuing on the story for the people who know about the universe, the Star Wars universe, and they're also introducing new characters in a semi-new setting, Tatooine.
Yeah.
For kids, because the first one, Phantom Menace, really feels like a kids movie, and I know it's kind of weird to say that because Star Wars has always been made for kids, right? But I don't know, this one just really felt like it was a kids movie. It was like It was like, yeah, you go to McDonald's because they have, really good, horrible for you food, but there's the Happy Meal for the kids too.
Oh right, yes, yes. Oh, I think for us it was like this inflatable like lightsaber. So you blow air to it, and then you cover it with like a stopper, and it's just a lightsaber filled with air. But you get the hilt, but it's like this small.
Yeah.
I mean, that was cool. Probably not the best like Happy Meal, but I do remember the Happy Meals that came out of like McDonald's when Star Wars was like such a big thing.
Okay. This wasn't the first Star Wars movie I saw, but funny enough, I was gifted a couple of Jar Jar Binks toys back in the day. I lost them around the house somewhere, but yeah.
You lost them.
He just tosses it out of the window.
I mean, I didn't know what it was.
Hitting it.
It's like, it's not a dinosaur. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Oh god, it's ugly.
But yeah, my first one was Revenge of the Sith, and then eventually I went back for the prequels. Like, what's episode 1 about? But yeah, I did love this back in the day, and then as time went on, I was like, there are flaws in this movie. I love glossing flaws, but is it as bad as people said it was? It's not a disaster, at least to me.
No, I would say this was a good time. Like, you could actually watch this with friends and be like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Like, sure, it's not like Rogue One, but this is a fun movie.
Yeah.
Which I think was a weird thing with Star Wars right after the original trilogy, is that the first movie of a trilogy that starts right after it was really good, and then the rest is just kind of except for Revenge of the Sith. That was so good.
Yeah.
But it kind of just followed on with Force Awakens and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Right. And like, so because the way I felt about the Phantom Menace, like when it came out, when I went to go see it, and you could probably see the excitement and like how I was talking about it and everything, to how I feel about it today is so different.
Really? No. How so?
Well, because I as a kid, I didn't expect there to be like any more Star Wars. I was happy and satisfied with the 3 that we got. And there were the books and everything. The extended universe, and it was good. Like, people were satisfied, right? And then the excitement of a new movie, right? Like, it's not a TV special, it's not a toy, it's a movie. This is like official Star Wars. It was just so exciting. I'm losing my voice, sorry.
It's okay.
And at the time, I thought, oh man, this was great. I saw it a whole bunch of times. I loved it. Today, it's my least liked Star Wars movie. Like, I dare say I hate it. Like, I will not voluntarily watch it from start to finish. I'll watch people react to it on YouTube, that's fine. But, like, I won't voluntarily select the movie myself and sit there and watch it.
Like, you don't like it more than Attack of the Clones?
No, I like Attack of the Clones more. I like everything Star Wars more than I do the Phantom Menace.
Alright.
Hey, that's a hot take right there. Yeah,
and it's not like just because of Jar Jar Binks or whatever. He definitely is a part of it.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole... Oh God, George Lucas, you could have done so much better.
Well,
I got some gripes too with George here, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
But yeah, like, speaking of George Lucas, the first few directors chosen before Lucas was Ron Howard, Steven Spielberg, and Robert Zemeckis for Episode 1.
Robert Zemeckis?
Yeah.
I feel like this would have been a completely different Star Wars if it was him.
Well, I mean, okay, so you probably don't know this based on your reaction. Enzo might. But you see, Robert Zemeckis, who directed Back to the Future in 1985, Kathleen Kennedy was an executive producer on that movie, so he knew her. And
okay.
because she's a big shot at Disney now, that's where he comes in to direct Star Wars. Possibly, but didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like getting into it. Like you see the opening crawl, and it's not as eye grabbing as the episode 4, like the future ones, where it's like, oh, there's a trade dispute going on. Interesting.
No, like when that came, I was like, da, 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 da. I'm like,
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is if I had seen this as an older adult, or even like a young adult instead of as a 13-year-old kid, I might not have liked it as much as I did as a kid, because at 13, like, you have blinders, right, to politics. Like, politics they're incomprehensible to you at 13, right? Like, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You don't care, to learn about politics, even especially fake politics in a movie.
Yeah.
And so as a kid, I think I completely missed like the whole political thing, and it was just Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but as an adult, like even as an adult, I don't really like care about politics, whatever, fake, real, whatever. But like, that's what this movie is. Should have been called Episode 1, Politics.
But yeah, you learn that the Trade Federation is doing a blockade of Naboo, and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan are sent to negotiate, and you meet the Viceroy and his second command. They have questionable.
Question. I have a question. Did they mention that was Obi-Wan Kenobi? At the beginning of the movie, did they mention that was Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah.
No, you don't. No.
Yeah, that's what I was
No.
saying.
All right,
They didn't introduce.
You don't. Yeah, you don't know that that's Obi-Wan until Qui-Gon introduces him
Oh,
on
right.
Padme Amidala's ship when they get Anakin on Tatooine.
Yeah, that's why I was like, this is probably like the older fans' realization was like, that's Obi-Wan when he was young. He's played by Ewan McGregor. I'm like, what? Yeah. So I was also thinking that I was like, did they mention?
I forgot they didn't mention
I was too
him.
lazy to go back. I was too lazy to go back to make sure, but.
Yeah, I was too lazy to go back because I was consumed with like how questionable the accent for Viceroy is. Like, it's a very Japanese accent he got there.
Like a very good deal.
Yeah, like, excuse me.
Wow, George, my dude. And I was also a questionable accent on Guado.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's very oof. He likes money a lot. Oof.
Doesn't
George.
help that the Trade Federation, voiced by these guys, strikes the first blow at Naboo. You're like, of course, Pearl Harbor.
Okay, we
But-
see where George is going with this. Come on, he did the whole stormtrooper thing, which was the Nazis.
Yeah, but again, questionable. But you see the Jedi, and you know that's Liam Neeson from. This is a few years after Schindler's List. You're like, oh, that's the guy. That's the main guy from Schindler's List, and now he's doing kind of action before he ever does Taken. So it's like it's an in between. But yeah, they are trapped and they're almost killed by the droids, but they got this handled. They even have super speed.
Droids to God. Sorry,
We
I love it how
never
he said that.
see again.
Yeah.
No, that one I had to rewind because I was like,
Come on, Obi-Wan. Let's use our super Jedi speed.
yeah, like it's like. Oh,
They never
we
used
must-
it again.
Yeah,
It's never brought up again.
right? There's so many situations where they could have used that to their advantage, but they never did. Well,
Yeah.
that's a lot of the Force. A lot of the times that's how George likes using the Force. Like, oh, that could have been useful in a fight. This Mr. So-and-so would have been alive. No. George was like, I totally forgot they had that skill.
Like, I rewound it. I'm like, since one was Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, the fucking Flash.
They just disappear.
Yeah.
Like, immediately, they just went... That was it. And they were at the end of the hall. I was like,
Yeah.
who's this a thing?
Forgot to mention that the Trade Federation is taking orders by this hooded figure, but audience doesn't know who he was at the time. I do like his theme though, the haunting theme. We're like, that's it. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What hunting theme?
the theme of Darth Sidious, or just I don't know,
Oh,
throat singing.
yeah.
Hmm.
You know, it's funny because Chancellor Palpatine, right? Ian McKellen, God bless him. They fooled a lot of people. In 1999.
You mean
with,
Ian McDermott, right?
Ian McDermott.
What did I say?
He said Ian
Ian
McKellen. He said Magneto.
Oh. Ian McDermott. God damn it. Anyways, yeah. Okay. Chancellor Palpatine, right? Because they never mentioned the Emperor's name.
Yeah.
He was a nameless emperor. And so if you didn't just, like the older audience, if you didn't just catch that that's the same actor, right? It was a big surprise when it was revealed that Chancellor Palpatine is Emperor Palpatine, because we had never gotten his name before.
Yeah.
And since we pretty much gotten that out of the way, I did love that in Clone Wars they showed that how Chancellor Palpatine was pretty much playing both sides. He's playing chess by himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, this motherfucker.
He's the one moving all the pieces.
Yeah. I was like, not gonna lie, that is very smart writing though, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Clone Wars definitely had the best foreshadowing for what was to come in the future. You're like, right. But yeah, they, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan make an escape to Naboo where they meet everybody's favorite character, Jar Jar Binks.
Oh god.
Like,
No, I mean like, hey, respect to the actor who played him.
yeah, that's fucked up
for
that he was basically bullied to the point that he almost committed suicide a couple of times, but like...
Yeah, I don't agree with that part. Sure, I don't like Jar Jar all that much. Clone Wars kind of redeemed him though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like...
But still, not really a big fan of Jar.
Yeah, and that's the beginning of like people spewing hate towards actors like Ahmad Best, who was Jar Jar, and Jake Lloyd, who was Anakin.
Yeah, like you just gotta like, it's mostly the fault of the director to do their job to make sure that hey, what they're doing is the right way of doing it.
Yeah.
So it's mostly the director. Don't blame the actors.
Yeah, it's the the directing and the writing, and the fact that they're all doing this by green screen instead of practical effects.
Man, like I don't remember because I was a kid when I watched like the prequels, and when people were making fun of like, oh, it's just a green screen fest, I was like, it wasn't that bad from what I remembered. When I watched it, I was like, wow, my eyes are hurting. Like, oh god.
And then to just give them a completely inorganic background, we're just like pretend something's there. It's like, sure, George.
Sure, but I guess it was they kind of didn't have the technology at the time. They didn't have that full-on 360 or
Mando technology.
180 like screen that would like, you can't tell that it's a screen behind them.
Yeah.
Like what they do in Mando.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even though like CGI and green screen technology and stuff is a little, it's improved today than it was then. They were still doing things that were pretty grand at the time, especially for '99, because they were on entirely like green screen sets, or blue screen sets. Like, so they had, like if they had to step up onto something or sit in a chair or, interact with the physical world around them, whatever they were doing or interacting with was completely either blue or green.
Yeah.
Everything was fake.
They had to act with these fake things and pretty much try to put themselves in the environment without seeing the environment. So you gotta give the actors props here.
Yeah.
Like, they were working with nothing.
Yeah, some definitely do it better than others. Like Ewan McGregor, as everyone knows, he's one of the best parts of this entire trilogy.
I would say he was kind of lacking here. Like he was a Padawan. It was more of like Anakin and Qui-Gon's journey, and then Qui-Gon dies, and then he gets passed on to Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, Obi-Wan always felt secondary in The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, Like he was like, oh, he's the extra gun that we got. He's the extra Jedi. Also, this is probably our first time seeing a room full of Jedis.
Yeah.
In a movie. Yeah.
But getting to the story real quick, we are introduced to Queen Amidala, who's played by Natalie Portman, and as they're being invaded by the Trade Federation, so obviously Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan have to rescue the Queen because they can't have them being executed or being forced to sign a treaty that they don't want to sign. They go to Jar Jar's underwater kingdom where they find out he's banned, but they convince Boss Nass to not be so harsh on him, or
I cannot do that. I don't want to do it. My headphones are gonna fall off.
yeah, or convince him like, oh, this guy owes us a life debt because we saved him. He's coming with us, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess you're part of their crew now.
Yeah, and my God, this nightmare of a scene where they start to like. I never want to be in Naboo. Like, I'll never swim in Naboo, even though if it's a swimming pool. Like, I'll never swim in Naboo. Fucking shit. You see, like, one thing, like, chasing. I was like, it's not that big. It looks like a bus. It's fine. And then you see the bigger thing. I'm like,
there's always a bigger fish.
Exactly.
And it's bipedal.
That thing looked like the dragon from Neverending Story. I'm like, oh God, that thing has biceps. I was like, it's terrifying.
You forgot to mention, Enzo, that you said we meet, Queen Amidala. But she's played by both Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley.
Yeah.
That was Keira Knightley?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, great body double, I gotta lie.
Yeah, he could write all the different like, right.
Yeah. I knew it was somebody, but I was like, I knew it was a decoy, but I was like, I never knew it was Natalie Portman.
Keira Knightley?
Keira Knightley.
Yeah. Also forgot to mention that for the casting choice for Qui-Gon was either, before Liam Neeson took the role, was either Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, or Morgan Freeman.
Tom Hanks or Morgan Freeman as a Jedi.
Right?
Wow. The most likable Jedis in the galaxy.
I mean, we don't know without actually seeing like any of their performances, how they would handle the character. We really don't know because honestly, I would have, I had seen Liam Neeson in a couple things prior to Star Wars. I had seen Schindler's List. At least I believe I had at that point. If not, it was very soon after. But I know I saw him in something else. He was in something else closer. It was in between Schindler's and this. I can't remember the damn name of it.
Actually?
That was after.
It might have been that, but I don't know. Anyways, like you couldn't see Liam Neeson playing this character until you see him playing this character.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah. But yeah, though not gonna lie, like I would like to see Denzel Washington in this role in another universe. Like that'd be an interesting choice.
As a Jedi or a Sith, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, no, it would have been as Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they rescue Queen Amidala and her crew, and they convince her to leave this planet to go to Coruscant. And I do like the look of her ship.
Which one?
The silver one.
The silver one?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very sleek.
Yeah, it's also nice seeing Jedi in more action-packed scenes. Like Obi-Wan doing the split kick, you're like, that's pretty sweet.
The what?
The split kick from Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, he does that a lot. I think he did it like 3 times.
Yeah.
Every time he like rushes towards a crowd, he just does the split kick. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if he trained Ahsoka to do that, because she does that like in the last season of Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but didn't they were supposed to go to Coruscant, but they had to take a detour to
Tatooine.
Tatooine because something was broken.
Yeah,
the shield was broken.
Hyperdrive was leaking.
Oh, okay. The hyperdrive was
Yeah. And then there are a couple of droids trying to repair the ship, and then one of them is the lone survivor, and he's getting all the the glory, but though he's traumatized. Like I saw all my friends die.
You gotta love how Star Wars made droids just have like agonizing screams. Like you see that one, the first one that gets like taken out, you just see like, oh shit. Was it painful for him, or was it just like, just
Quick.
was he just turned off? Was it quick? I don't know.
But yeah, we go back a bit to the Trade Federation where they're telling Sidious like, oh, this one ship escaped. We can't have that because they are escapees from Naboo. They might tell the galaxy what's happening. He's like, don't worry, they're not impossible to track down for a Sith. And then that's where you get the first reveal of Darth Maul. You're like, Jesus Christ, that thing looks like a devil.
Like, oh god, it's a thing from Sidious.
Yeah. And then they land in Tatooine and they are supposed to look for any shot that can help them repair their ship. And then one of the Queen's maidens comes along so she can learn about this world. And she also is played by Natalie Portman.
Yeah. And
they want a J-Type 327 Nubian hyperdrive.
You gotta love how she fucking knows what the fucking parts they needed to fix. Oh god. But yeah, they had to go to Bato for that one. And yeah, this is where we get the very sketchy Jewish
Accent.
accent character. I'm like, oh, the Force doesn't work on me. Only money.
Money.
I'm like, George.
Jesus Christ.
George, how could you? Like,
Hey, who knows? Maybe that was like a jab at Harry Weinstein or something, you know?
maybe.
Probably.
That could be it. Like, it's just a satire on just one person. I'm like, okay, I get you. But yeah, this is where we meet Annie, and my
he's a
god,
person.
the boy got mad skills. Immediately sees a hot girl. Are you an angel? I'm like, ooh, oof. Look at this fuck boy right here, working on the moves already. I'm like, what the fuck? How old are you? 11?
Same as
Jesus.
Anakin, he's a person.
Or 9.
Or 9? I was like, this girl's probably older than you, but yet you already.
14.
Yeah, he's already throwing his shots.
Yeah.
Boy puts us to shame. I'm like, damn.
Boy pulls, I guess.
The boy pulls. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. He had pickup lines already. I was like, oh, okay. That's how we're gonna get introduced to Anakin. But you do see that he is very
George, I don't know how to approach this, really.
Maybe.
I mean, it's okay, right? Because it's all fiction and it's all writing and it's all entertainment, some of it. But it's like, in the original trilogy, he had the incest theme, and then starting off, with the Phantom Menace, he had kind of like the older girl, young boy thing going, which is alright, when he's 19 and she's 24, but when he's 9 and she's 14, like, what are you doing, George?
George, you kind of slipping here.
I mean, you're not George R. R. Martin. You're George Lucas.
Please.
George is like, no, this is in a different galaxy. Again, him like the bulletin board with like all the like string.
Like, please explain this 9-year-old hitting on this 14-year-old.
This is the exact same scene of him trying to justify the kiss with Luke and Leia. No, he in this galaxy, he's old enough.
It's Tatooine tradition. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, no, Jom just hit on something. He probably doesn't even know it. Because, George Lucas actually did something like what you're describing with the Luke and Leia kiss. Because he went on to explain that on Alderaan, how Princess Leia was raised, kissing on the lips isn't always romantic. That it's just a formal way of doing things.
I think we had this discussion. Like it's the Italian way of like greeting somebody, right? Like
Right.
to other countries, it's very intimate, but for them, it's just a greeting. It could be just a
But putting in context of the movie itself, she only did it to make Han jealous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without her knowledge that, like, fuck. I kissed my
This-
brother.
Putting questionable decisions aside, like they learned that in order to win these fights, they have to partake in pod race.
I love the pod racing. Because, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember playing. I got the N64 game.
Yes! I got
all that.
sad to say, I didn't own an N64 because, well, that was like before my time. But I did emulate it on my PC, and I played the shit out of that thing when I was 15 to 14.
You saying I'm old?
I said nothing, homie.
Leaves the call.
But yeah, also that they find out this boy is very force sensitive because of the midichlorian count, and that the fact that he was conceived by the force, like, interesting.
Yeah, I forgot. Anakin's mom is Mama Mary. They were like, "Who's the father?" I just got
Well,
pregnant.
no, and then there's actually a very it's not quite official / canon. It's more of a, I can't even call it a theory. I mean, I guess it is technically, but people have taken all of the Star Wars lore that we have to date, right? Everything that has been, shown or not shown, just whatever we have, right? And they've connected the dots. And basically it goes that Darth Plagueis was able to create life from the Force itself, as Darth Sidious tells us.
Right. The big.
Darth Plagueis created Anakin Skywalker from the Force. So it was an immaculate conception, and Shmi Skywalker was the host, I guess, if you'll say. But that actually all is very true. It was mysterious at the time and everything, but as we've gained knowledge over the years, apparently that's what happened. That Darth Plagueis did create life from the Force itself, and it was Anakin.
Yeah, and then for a bit we do go back to Coruscant, where you see that, oh shit, the hooded figure isn't Coruscant with his apprentice Darth Maul.
Oh yeah, and we don't see Darth Maul do his shit. Like he's just this figure at the back. He's very menacing.
He's just Ray Park.
Yeah. He does land on Tatooine.
Yeah, I do like one of the few words he has. We will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. We will have our revenge. And then it's funny to know that wasn't even Ray Park's voice. That was, forgot the actor's name.
Even Ray Park's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the role originally was supposed to go to Benicio del Toro, but after he saw the script, he's like, I barely say anything in this one. No, thank you.
I think. Darth Maul only had,
he just
one sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, Benicio del Toro just said, catch me in 20 years. I'll be in another Star Wars film then.
Yeah, as a stuttering hacker, that doesn't need to be in the story.
Yeah, as the thief.
We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah. You find out that Anakin does have his own pod racer, and he's going up against Saboba.
Art Bumpy Roos, Mahonic, who else can I pull out? These are actual drivers in the pod racing. It's in the game. I remember their names.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of their names.
Same. I was like, are you having a stroke right now? You good? No, but before that, I mentioned before that they count Anakin's midichlorians. They're like, oh shit, it's over 20,000. How do you feel about midichlorians being a thing?
Yeah, like midichlorians is now like a physical, not really a physical, but like is like an entity now instead of like the Force being just this mystical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is odd, but it didn't really do anything.
I mean, I like it. I like the addition of it because it's a tool, really. Like it explains things and puts things into perspective, and allows the audience to grasp it a little bit more. You know, like exactly how the Force works. At least how I think, because you know they explain that the Force is, you know, a universal energy field, and it binds the galaxy together, and it's in all living things, and so on and so forth. So the Force itself is in everyone, but that's how come we have like the term Force sensitive. If the midichlorian count is high enough in a person, they're it's like a damn. I'm losing my words. Damn it. Midichlorians is what channels the Force. The more that you have, the more of the Force in you are able to actively interact with, which is how Force-sensitive people interact with the Force. So it is in everybody. You just... not everybody could use it.
Except for a select few. I think this is why like the original trilogy was more of like faith and like very religious kind of themed. Well, this one's more of science. Yeah. This one starts to like debunk it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the, like you said, like the science part or whatever of it. You know, the physicality of midichlorians being in us. Even if the Force isn't something directly physical. But it's still very much a religion, just as the Sith is a religion. But these groups are inherently, you know, good, bad, light, dark. There's... because you have to be, because of their principles. You know, the Jedi's principles are inherently good or light, and the same with the Sith. You know, they're inherently bad or dark. And that's the same with, I just want to, you know, put the reminder out there that you can be a dark side Force user and not be a Sith, because that's a religion, and there's only 2 of them. So, like all the Inquisitors, none of them were ever Sith. They were just dark side Force users.
Also, Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Yeah.
He also uses the dark side, but doesn't really have to be a dark side.
Right. You can use the dark side without actually being dark side, just as, you know, Luke does in Mandalorian. You know, we see him Force choke the fucking Dark Trooper.
Yeah.
Dark Trooper. Yeah, and he chokes the Gamorrean guards in episode 6.
Yeah, they just...
Yeah, we see him use the dark side even in episode 6, because he's Force choking the Gamorrean guards. You know, so using these things don't make you good or bad. It's who you are. It's how you use them for what purposes.
Yeah. But yeah, so we get back to like
the pod
racing, and I gotta say this was a big highlight of the movie. Like just when it started to pick back up.
Yeah. Oh, before that, we learned that Qui-Gon says, aside from getting the parts, I also want to get the boy. First, he tries to go for his mom and the boy.
He tried to negotiate the mom and Anakin, but God only agreed to the boy.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a fun sequence.
Yeah.
Eventually. This race is also presided by Jabba the Hutt. You're like, that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a sweet race, and like, I don't know, being an F1 fan now, I'm like, this is pretty fun.
Man, I was gonna say, like, if y'all can't hear it, Anakin's like pod racer is the 2001 Ferrari. You know, like the F1 Ferrari that Michael Schumacher uses. I was like, I know that sound. Wait a minute. I was like, oh, George, you got me there. Like a good choice of sound that they used for the pod racer. I hated Saboba's engine sound. It just kept clunking, and I'm like, go back.
The chug.
Yeah, like go back to the F1 car. I'm like, I like that more.
And like he said, Saboba sabotages Anakin's pod, and you're like, oh no, does Anakin have to retire his vehicle now? No,
For some reason, these things don't break as easily compared to F1 cars, but they go as fast.
Yeah. And crashing into something will mean instant death, unlike today's F1. We're like, you know, you can still save him.
Yeah, like there's a little bit more safety precautions now with this F1.
Yeah.
But I just love how Anakin can just like put this plug here, just flip this switch back and forth,
Yeah.
and just fix a problem that's outside of like the where the problem is at. I'm like, I guess he's that good of an engineer.
I mean, it's what modern day jets do, right? So like if there's a fire in one engine, you know, they shut that engine off and divert the remaining fuel to the remaining engine.
Okay. So I guess he could do that. But it was just so fascinating seeing him just fiddle around with it. I like it that they really went in depth with the pod racing here.
Yeah, and like it's nice to see Anakin, who's like 2 laps behind Max Verstappen or Sergio Perez.
Yeah. Fucking Anakin Verstappen, you're just catching up after like dying at the starting line. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I always wondered if Anakin could catch up that fast. How come he like all of a sudden slows down? Because
it starts to
he
struggle.
has to be going fast enough to catch up, right? So that if he's going fast enough to catch up, he's moving faster than all the other vehicles.
Yeah.
So why doesn't he just keep going?
Right.
Like, and then this is just a 3-lap race. So like, no, he would have not caught up if this was the like, or if that's how fast his speeder was or his pod racer was. He would have been done with the race before it even like the others got to the second lap.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. Did any of y'all
So a
find
movie could happen.
John, calm down. It's just a movie. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. But yeah, did any of y'all get like thrown off when Anakin just kept going yippee?
Yeah.
Like, George, do you know how kids,
Sound.
act? Or like, do you know what a child is? Like, all he was exposed to was like very 60s cartoons like Scooby-Doo.
Yippee! You're like,
Yeah.
he's not talking. Though I will admit,
Well, I mean, he had kids of his own at the time.
I guess they said yippee a lot. He was like, I'll inspire Anakin after you.
This is also a fictional galaxy.
This is pretty much Hazel like, John, calm down. I'm like, okay.
I mean, ships aren't supposed to fall like there's gravity in space, but they do.
but yeah, Anakin wins and they're all happy.
We just pause for a minute, like, you know what? This is just a stupid space story now.
They're all happy and Anakin's free, but he has a moment of hesitation, like, I don't want to go. And it sounds like, what does your heart say? Like, I swear I will free you one day. You're like, sure, one day. I really hope this doesn't end badly for Anakin or his mom.
I hope he doesn't get really bad asthma and prosthetic limbs.
Well, same here. But yeah, Darth Maul's probe droids come back to him and they found Qui-Gon and where the ship's hiding. But we do have our first, I would say, modern lightsaber duel for a bit with Qui-Gon against Maul.
Oh yeah, Qui-Gon against Maul. Is this Duel of Fates?
No, this is the first desert duel.
No, not yet.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when he flies right over Anakin, when Qui-Gon tells him to drop.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. And them trying to escape Tatooine. Gotcha. Makes sense.
We also forgot to mention, going way back a bit, like when Qui-Gon talks about being trained as a Jedi, Anakin's like, no one can kill a Jedi. I was like, sure.
I mean, even Qui-Gon was like, I wish that was true. Like, the amount of bodies he's seen.
But yeah, they escape and they fly to Coruscant, where we get... I really don't know how there's more boring ways to do exposition other than just walking and talking and then sitting and talking.
Oh,
then-
dude, this is the part where I was like on my phone the most.
Yeah.
Like, there's politics happening. Oh, right.
Like, you don't even care that, like, the former Chancellor was like, that's fucking Zod from the Superman movies.
That was?
Yeah. That's Terrence Stamp.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we also meet the council.
Yeah.
We see the penis head looking guy and
Yeah.
we see Plo
The,
Koon.
the Coyote Mundi cone head looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also in the background is Depa Balaba, who is the master of...
What you call me?
I don't know their name properly, but she is the master of Canaan.
Ah, yeah. Lady braids with a thing on it.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is that Samuel L. Jackson wasn't the first choice. The first choice was Tupac Shakur to be Mace Windu.
Oh, that's so cool.
But obviously because
That's so sick.
because of life and destiny, that didn't happen.
Rest in peace.
So we have two situations going on where the Queen is trying to convince people to help Naboo, but the Palpatine's like, no, you have to, since Valorum is in the pocket of the Trade Federation, you have to do a vote of no confidence. You're like, wow, this is so engaging for a kid's movie.
Yeah, okay. I agree with Hazel here when they started going on about politics. I was kind of like a baby with this, like trying to carry its head the whole time. I'm like, politics? What? Trade
Yeah.
Federation? Who? Like,
Right?
I didn't really care about it, and I was like, man, just get to the Duel of Fates already. This is me rewatching it, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not me now.
I want to know how Tupac Shakur was a first choice for Mace Windu. I'd never even heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess they just really wanted like a big.
big name. It was in like the early
Yeah.
stages of Phantom Menace. They're like, we want to get a big name for this movie. And then I think, I forgot who said, but one of his friends said he did have the script and he wasn't interested. And then
Yeah.
what happens, and then it goes to Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, because he had that whole.
Yeah, 'cause- He was killed in '96, so that's why I was like, really?
Was it? Or was this like a 10-year plan? I guess.
Yeah, all I read was that it was in the early stages of Phantom Menace.
Okay.
It's my,
So,
it's my Time magazine, so I hope there's a lot of validity to this.
no, I get you, because you know how like people are like, oh, we've been writing this story for like 10 years, and probably that was their lineup.
Yeah,
So,
but
Yeah, that's interesting. I like learning, everything that I can about Star Wars, all the little interesting stuff.
yeah.
Or the fact that Tupac was almost with Mace Windu.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of
Getting crazy.
Yeah.
Mace Windu and the rest of the Jedi, they're like, no, we can't train Anakin, he's too old. Even though he passes that weird test of like, it's a ship, it's a thingy. They're like, that's a weird
Yeah,
test.
like the shape test from Ghostbusters. I'm like, cool. Kid's force sensitive. You really don't want to fucking train this kid to not be in the dark side because he has like midichlorian levels way stronger than you, Goku. I'm like, really? You're gonna pass this up?
Apparently,
Well,
yes.
Yeah, like the dark side would gladly take a prepubescent boy to be their
New Sith Lord.
Yeah, but sadly the Jedi Council was too gatekeepy for this.
I guess. I guess.
Well, I don't get it.
But yeah.
But Qui-Gon was like, hey, you know what? Since you guys won't take him, I'll take him. But you already have two, Padawans.
Obi-Wan just like, okay, sure.
No, he was like, nah, he ready.
Yeah, like, I'm ready.
Yeah, he was like, Obi-Wan can't learn anything more from me. He's ready to take the trials.
Yeah, to be a Jedi Knight, but like, the Queen can't wait for the full vote to take effect, and so she heads back to Naboo, and they bring along Anakin as they go back to Naboo, and then he's like, Qui-Gon, I don't want to be a problem. He's like, you won't be. And flash forwards to him marching in the temple.
That scene, the hallway scene, people like, just take it!
You seen that meme of like, and then Anakin became a very big problem indeed.
Yeah. But anyway, we go on. There's a war in Naboo. All the Gungans start to like ready up because Leia, pretty much. Sorry, Padme. And they look so alike. But yeah, like she convinces
Boss
what's
Nass.
his name? Boss Nass that hey, we need your help. There is a big war happening, and we can't really do it without you. Pretty much begging. Yeah, she was begging for their help. This is what Boss Nass wanted from the beginning.
Yeah.
Where he was like,
I mean, she literally said she was begging.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but pretty much Boss Nass was like, hey, y'all think you're better than us all the time. Now, I like this, that you're begging.
Yeah. I do like that reveal too. Like, oh, she's not the queen. I am the queen. That's just my decoy. Oh, question.
And the looks on Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's faces, the little look that they share when she reveals that, because she deceived them too.
Yeah. Because the whole time she was like, the queen will want this. And they're like, oh, but the queen trusts us. And she was like, but I'm the
I'm the queen.
princess. I'm the queen.
I think that whole like little deception was very interesting, right? Because okay, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan didn't pick up on the deception, and I think it was because it wasn't with evil intentions, which is why they couldn't pick up on it, because there was no harm being done in her pretending to be the servant instead of the queen. It was probably more helpful.
Yeah. The fact that she didn't tell the Jedis.
Question. I don't know if you picked up on this, but does Boss Nass' voice sound familiar to you? Both of you?
Let me hear it in my head real quick.
Because he does play a famous Disney villain who meets a very gruesome end.
Which one?
The most vivid one of like the 90s. Where you definitely see the body.
Aston?
No. He's Clayton.
What did you say?
He's Clayton.
He's Clayton?
Yeah.
Who?
Clayton.
From Tarzan.
From Tarzan.
Insert the Galaxy of the Guardians who meme?
Yeah, he's the big hunter man from Tarzan. The villain.
Yeah. So the reason why Eds is pointing out the whole death scenes because you actually do see his body like hanging.
Yeah.
After Tarzan, he didn't really kill him. He killed himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on. But that was Clayton. Crazy.
Yeah. And then you go back to the palace where they're all assembled. What's the name again? Viceroy's they're all assembled, about to attack, and the galaxy that has no idea what's about to happen. The mysterious figures good, wipe them out, all of them. Oh, by the way, I'm sending them all.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. That's what I was like. Can't wait. I can't wait.
To be honest, seeing the Gungan army coming out of the fog, if I didn't know any better, I'm like, that's pretty terrifying to see an army like that marching on my city. Like, what the fuck did I do wrong?
Right. Yeah, with their big elephant-looking things. I was like, it is kind of funny that they don't really have those. They have spear shields and they have these small things that are like EMPs.
Yeah.
The droids. I was like, that's cool, but you kind of made it a very silly because all these sound effects that the Gungans had were very cartoony.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I can't take this battle seriously.
The droid ships.
Yeah, and when Jar Jar holds on to the back latch of that thing that has all the big ones.
Yeah,
and
when it starts going boing, boing, boing.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom. It was very cartoony.
I was like, oh, come on. Really?
They're watching this now as the droids enter the shield. As in watching this in 2022, the only thing I could think of was, Wakanda forever? It reminds me of the last battle in Infinity War so much now.
Yeah, with them with the shields that expand and shit. Yeah, it does look like.
There's
Oh
just
my
no
god, Marvel's not being original. They took it from George.
gas. Yeah, there's just no bring me Thanos. But yeah, it is cool and it's a bit silly when you hear the sound effects. You're like, I want this to be cooler, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But we do get a cool scene with Padme and the rest, like, infiltrating where Viceroy was.
Yeah.
Well, into their own palace where Viceroy was held up.
And like their plan is to destroy the droid controlled ship so that the army shuts down. And as the pilots are getting their ships, one of the pilots later on in the years will be known as the King under the mountain, because that is Richard Armitage.
Yeah, Richard Armitage's first job, like
Yeah.
one of his first jobs.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't wait.
And then Anakin's on the ship, and Qui-Gon's like, "You stay put now." And he's like, "But stay still.
No, stay in that cockpit.
Stay in
That's
that
what
cockpit."
he said.
Yeah.
So loopholes. And Anakin was like, "Alright, I'm gonna stay in this cockpit." What?
The ship won't. But as they're walking, the doors open, and you see them all, and they're like, "What the fuck is that thing?"
Mm-hmm. And they're like, immediately when I was watching this as a kid, I was like, that hilt, like that handle is too long. Why is it so?
Right?
You see the other beam come out, like, ah.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
Yeah.
It was pretty epic because he's standing there, right, like in his stance, and he just has the fucking the lightsaber out, and it's like, oh, and they both ignite. Oh my god,
That was pretty
it's
sick.
on.
It's because like you think that like, oh, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, they're pretty capable against dude with one lightsaber. What is that? And then they start dueling.
I do like Padme's like, Qui-Gon's like, "We'll handle this." She's like, "Yeah, sure, bye."
I was like, we ain't gonna handle that. Fuck that shit. You see the face on that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say this whole like Duel of Fates, that's fucking soundtrack in Star Wars universe. Also, probably one of my favorite lightsaber fight scenes.
Yeah.
Minus all the fight scenes in Clone Wars within the movies, this is my favorite fight scene. Because it was a bit dirty. It's not like Revenge of the Sith where they're just doing this. Where here it does look like they put a lot of thought into it, and like it is a bit gritty. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I like when they're battling and those, I don't know what you call the section of the room where they're on top and then he does a kick to Obi-Wan. And then Qui-Gon just hits him with his shoulder and just backhands Martin.
Yeah.
Like, this is pretty sick.
And it flowed, it really did. And then we get cut to scene with Anakin like flying up into space, blowing up shit. I'm like, I wonder if he's doing stuff. To be honest, I didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
He was doing a barrel roll. That's a good trick.
Yeah.
You know, I still, I don't know about you guys, like how you feel about this, if you even ever thought about it, but like, I've never gotten closure on the fact that Anakin, like, at least they never show that Anakin gets recognition for completely shutting down the Separatists.
Right?
Like they don't ever acknowledge that it was Anakin that fucking did this. And that's like upsetting to me. Like, I need to know that like everyone else knows it was Anakin.
And nobody like talks about it in the future where like Anakin was an amazing pilot. When he was 9, he blew up something that ended the war in
Naboo.
Naboo.
Yeah.
Would that be a big deal that a child did that?
Yeah, even the pilots are just like, "Oh, cool, we're done."
See, this is why he went to
It's
the
like-
dark side.
No, he went to the dark side because of the fucking Jedi Council. That's why he went to the dark side.
Yeah.
But besides that, because like, okay, even like with Luke, right? Like how, you know, Vader came back to the light. He was Anakin when he died, and that Anakin is the one who defeated the Emperor with the help of his son Luke. Like, the entire galaxy knows now, at least at that point, that Darth Vader was Anakin and that he redeemed himself in the end, and it was him that killed the Emperor. Like, everyone in the galaxy knows that.
Yeah.
I want everyone to know that Anakin won the battle at Naboo.
Same here. You would think they was like Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan, like they were the last resort tonight. It was all Annie.
Yeah. Like
The hell.
all the accents you can just like Anakin's and Qui-Gon's and Padme's scenes here are the best standouts because again the battle outside of Naboo City is just ridiculous at times when he like pom 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 like please George.
Yeah, we're mostly focused on the starship battle and the lightsaber battle.
Yeah,
instead of the actual battle that was happening outside of Naboo.
they're like I like how Padme surrounds the Viceroy and he's like, oh, he thinks he's trapped her, but he sees the decoy. He's like, go after that one because this one's a decoy. And then she was like, no, that's the decoy. I'm the real one. Now let's talk about the treaty.
Yeah, power move with Padme.
Yeah,
We do get a sad scene with Qui-Gon Jinn pretty much biting the dust.
yeah. I do like the scene before where he's just meditating and Maul's just stalking the room like a tiger, and Obi-Wan's like impatient, like please let me be in this fight.
Yeah. He couldn't get in.
Yeah,
And then his master dies in front of him. They did put up a good fight though.
yeah. That is cool when Maul just uses the hilt to like incapacitate Qui-Gon just enough for him to stab him. Like that's pretty sick.
Didn't see it coming. But yeah, like Obi-Wan gets in, he starts a fight, but he's fighting with anger.
Yeah,
Then he gets thrown off into the ledge. Darth Maul swiping at the edge just to like make.
I don't know what his
go.
plan was there.
Neither did I. I thought I was like, man, you could just stick your lightsaber a little bit lower. You could have gotten him, but anyway.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan centers himself, jumps up, grabs Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, and cuts him in half
one of the few
with
times.
a little blood spray. If you
Yeah.
saw that.
It's like,
Yeah.
Jesus. One of the few times Obi-Wan wins without the high ground. Because Maul definitely had the high ground.
He learned.
Yeah. Though, I wanted to say before that, like, do you like the fact that Obi-Wan, while waiting for Maul, or the thing to go down, was like bouncing up and down, just ready to go at it?
Oh yeah, he's a very eager Padawan. He
Yeah.
wasn't the calm, collective Obi-Wan we know now. He is this like kid who just wants to get into a fight, prove his worth with his master, and you see him like finally just grow up in the second movie.
Yeah, though when Qui-Gon's dying, watching it now in 2022, I'm like, is he really dying though? Because you can heal him, Obi-Wan. The Force has healing stuff now.
Shut up.
This all tells Qui-Gon, like, Obi-Wan, heal me. Shh.
Shush. I'm master now. He starts smothering his face.
What do you? Anakin does shut down the droid army, and it is I would say bittersweet moment where they're celebrating, but they have to do Qui-Gon Jinn's what do you call that, funeral first.
And Anakin's like, Obi-Wan's kind of like, that's
That's
gonna be you one day.
Twice.
Twice.
No, he's like, you will be a Jedi, I promise. Oh, I guess. Like when he's in Tatooine, he's like, why did I say that thing? Say that to the boy. Why couldn't he be like, no, Jedi Council, I won't be taking him up. He can just leave him on the side of Coruscant, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, pretty much this is the start of the story of Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah. Though I do like when Mace Windu and Yoda was like, that's strange, there's usually two sets, a master and an apprentice. And he's like, what would we kill? The apprentice or the master? And it just pans to Palpatine. Like, I want to know audience's thoughts when they're like, so is he the Emperor?
Right? Like the newcomers are like.
And then you get a celebration where everybody's happy and Anakin makes this face. It's like, I'm gonna make you my wife one day. And so does Padme. Like, you're gonna be my husband one day. Like, what the fuck?
Alright, George. We get it. You a Shotokan. I get you.
But yeah, for now, it ends on a happy, bittersweet ending.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, even though this was a box office hit, but like critically wise, people were like, "No, what happened? What happened to Star Wars? Why is it like this?"
Yeah.
Like if you see people's interviews, like before and after, like before they're all like camping out outside the movie houses. I don't know if we do that in the Philippines, but in America, that's what was happening. And after they're like, "It was great." Yeah.
It was more of like an event rather than a movie.
Yeah.
You know, people got together, like-minded people got together. It felt special, and I guess like added on to say this nostalgia or the how the movie made them
And they
feel special.
they just desperately wanted this to be good. I get that because I I don't know if it's up on the internet, but like Globe did interview me after Rise of the Skywalker, so I get why the mindset of like I want this to be good. And people were like, "What do you think of the movie?" I was like, "It was great." And then the ride back, I'm like, "Why the fuck did I say that?" But we'll talk about Rise of the Skywalker another time. But yeah, people were just like, "Yeah, it's good," and then years later they're like, "Nah."
No. Yeah. I would say I had fun with it. It was more of like a nostalgia trip for me there.
Yeah. So here's the big question: what would you rate this movie?
Nostalgia aside, I'll rate this one like 6.5. That's above average. Fights were good. The storytelling, though, the whole politics thing, I agree with Hazel here, where it was kind of like, like I didn't really, it didn't really like made me fascinated with the whole politics of Star Wars until Clone Wars came up, and then the whole politics there actually grabbed.
Yeah.
So it took them a while for the whole politics side plot to kick in.
Yeah.
The acting is a little bit off with Anakin's mom, Anakin, sometimes Natalie Portman, oddly enough.
Right.
Like, she was very off. A lot of this acting was very weird.
We're gonna get a lot of that as we continue in this trilogy.
Anyway, we get that, and I would say the very offensive accents and characters that George has depicted. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna agree on that, but that one deduct. I don't know if it'll deduct points.
I mean, we didn't even touch on Jar Jar being a black stereotype. We're like, Jesus Christ, George.
Oh god, he was a token black guy.
I guess.
Oh no. Anyway, but I do like that we did expand on the lore. That this was a beginning of the origins of what happened in the original trilogy. I had fun with that, and the possibilities that he gave us with like the clones and Clone Wars, and we got Mando as well. Yeah, there's a shit ton of stories to like find out from here.
Yeah,
and we get like more backstory to Obi-Wan, so it's a 6.5 out of 10.
I'll kind of go one step ahead. I'll give this a 7 because I did have fun. Like I did enjoy my time watching this. It's not like I hated myself and like why am I watching this fucking movie? But yeah, the questionable accents, the acting, the questionable, even the CGI. Like when the ships were coming through, you're like, what the fuck is that supposed to be?
Hey man, that was high tech back then.
Sure, but now it's like this is like pre-Windows 95. Jesus Christ. But yeah, action, especially the dual fates, is pretty fun, and I would say even great at times. Characters are cool. Like, there's no like weird characterizations just yet. There's no like I don't like Sam yet, so everything's fine. Liam Neeson definitely is a standout. So is Ewan McGregor. And Ray Park for his athletic abilities. But yeah, so then this is a fun movie to watch at the very least.
Yeah. How about you, Hazel?
I was gonna say 7 out of 10 as well.
Okay. Well, we already know what Hazel's standpoint is on this movie. Yeah. Oh Lord.
Well, yeah, as the days go by, we'll talk about the other two, and that should be pretty exciting.
I can't wait for Revenge of the Sith.
I'm kind of like doubting even that 7. I don't think it deserves a 7.
Oh no.
Like a 6, maybe.
Hey,
Six.
let's go.
But yeah, to the audience, is there any movie that you were looking so forward to and then ended up being bad or disappointing? Please let us know. And any examples from you guys? That's not Star Wars.
The movie that I was really excited to see, saw it, and was disappointed.
Sorry, John. Why?
I know it exists. I just can't.
For me,
I'm sorry. What?
The Matrix.
Oh, the sequels.
Yeah, no, the Resurrection.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually really like that one. So not that one. I know that one exists. I know that there's probably more than one. I can't think of it. A movie I was really excited to see, saw it, and then was disappointed.
Sorry,
How
John.
about you, Alan?
Like, I know you like this movie, kind of, questionably, but I really don't like Terminator Salvation. Like, not as much as I hate Genesis, but like, it's just too boring for me. Like, I was excited because it was my first one. I'm like, let's see what the hype is about this franchise, and I saw it. I'm like,
It's okay. I get you. that movie I was very excited for, and I was like, you know what, this is cool. Yeah.
I was actually really excited for Salvation as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of a movie right now where I was excited and then disappointed.
And
It's
like,
okay.
if we're touching on like comic books, I would say the most memorable one that was disappointing was Age of Ultron for me.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah. But
Take
yeah,
us away, Enzo.
that's been our video on the Phantom Menace. What do you guys think? Please comment below. If you want to see more of us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. You can also find us at Facebook, Spotify, and TikTok to see, under the same name. Facebook to see us react to trailers, stream video games, and about our life from time to time. Spotify to hear us on the go, and maybe in the future, flying cars. I don't know. I'm trying to think of sci-fi ways to listen to us. TikTok to see our greatest moments, all under the same name. All the links are down below. Individually, you can find me at Gandalfus995 on ID and Twitter. How about you guys?
Find me at John GAOM_ on Instagram. It is my art account. How about you, Hazel?
Here we go. Sapphire, Hazel, and the number 7 for IG and Twitter. And then just Sapphire Hazel for YouTube and Twitch.
Alright. But yeah, that's all the time we have for this video at least. And once again, may the force be with all of you. Bye everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.